Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, sir. With your permission, I'm responding to discussions on 4 items. One is the budget 2024-25, which is an interim budget. And then the second supplementary for the year 23-24 of the Union Government. And also talking in response to the discussions which are happening on Jammu Kashmir interim budget for 24-25 and the supplementary demand for grants for 23-24 of Jammu and Kashmir. So I'm responding to the discussions which have happened for all these 4 items. So without going into great detail about what has been provided for and so on, I'll just give the highlights and move on to responding to honorable members who have spoken on the topic. I would think, as was observed by honorable member N.K. Premchandran, it's an interim budget. We've kept the spirit of the vote on account, except for highlighting the fact that for capital expenditure for 24-25, we've kept an outlay of 11 lakh crores, 11,111 crores, which is a 17% hike over 23-24. This is an outlay which is about 17% higher than the RE of 23-24. I just want to highlight that, sir. And this outlay is higher than the projected GDP growth rate of 10.5%. So even faster or higher than the GDP growth rate we've accommodated for capital expenditure. And the other feature which I'll draw the attention, which many honorable members have taken cognizance of, is that the fiscal deficit glide path which we had submitted before the House and got approved, 5.8% is what we have provided for this year, provided in the sense that's where we will be in the 23-24 budget, and for the forthcoming year we are predicting that it will be 5.1%. Actually 5.9 is what we were expected to reach, and 5.2 was what we were expected to reach the next year. But we have been fairly a lot more prudent and managed it efficiently. Therefore, we are able to reach, instead of 5.9, 5.0 this year itself, and the next year, instead of reaching 5.2, which would have been as per the glide path, we have made sure that we'll be 1 notch down, so we'll be 5.1 itself. So this being the highlight, I also want to underline the fact that the allocation for main and important heads are, if anything, more rather than coming down. Department of School Education and Literacy, for instance, is at the RE of this year, but higher than the BE of the current year. 68,805 now is 72,474 for the year 2024-25. Health and Family Welfare, similarly, 86,175 was the BE. Now it is 87,657. So nowhere have we cut down. Ministry of Minority Affairs, 3,098 was the BE. Now 3,183 is the BE crores. Similarly, for rural development, 1,57,545 has now become 1,77,566. The Department of Social Justice and Empowerment, 12,847 was the BE. Now it's become 13,000. Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, 25,449 was the BE. Now it's become 26,092. So nowhere has there been a reduction. On the contrary, it's only an increase in the BE. Major capital allocations, sir. Road transport and highways, which received in the BE 2,58,606 is now receiving 2,72,241. Railways received 2,40,000. Now it's receiving 2,52,000. Defense 1,71,375 has now gone up to 1,82,241. And the state's capex loan scheme, which is interest-free 50 years, 1,30,000 has been retained at 1,30,000. So if that is the numbers for BEB comparison between 23-24 to 24-25, allocation for major flagship schemes have either remained so or gone up. In the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, 60,000 crores BE 23-24 has remained 60,000 in 24-25. PM AY Awas Yojana Rural 54,487 is 54,500. PM Awas Yojana Urban 25,103 has gone up to 26,171. Jal Jeevan Mission 70,000 crore has gone up to 70,163. Manrega 60,000 has gone up to 86,000 crores, and that is a demand-driven program. PM Gram Sadak Yojana 19,000 crore remains at 19,000 crore. Samagra Shiksha is 37,453, has gone up to 37,500. PLI scheme 8,965 was given in BE 23-24. It's gone up to 16,021. Now the supplementary demands, sir. I'm not going to the detail of how much is cash supplementary, how much is technical supplementary. I want to explain as to where the supplementary demand is being spent. Department of Fertilizers get 3,000 for nutrient-based subsidy scheme for P&K fertilizers. Subsidy going to farmers. So that is where the supplementary wants 3,000 crores. Department of Food and Public Distribution gets 9,231 for Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. Defense Services on revenue expenditure gets 13,548, which will go for meeting the additional expenditure towards pay and allowances of armed forces and other establishment expenditure requirements such as stores, transportation works, and ECHS. Department of Economic Affairs gets 5,000 for transfer to Senior Citizen Welfare Fund. And finally, transfers to Jammu Kashmir gets 3,000 crores for meeting the additional expenditure towards central assistance to UT of Jammu and Kashmir for bridging the resource gap. Now, if that's the case with the supplementary demand for grants, the Jammu Kashmir budget and which is an interim budget for 24-25 and the supplementary demand for grants 23-24, sir. The highlights are that Jammu and Kashmir is seeking a vote on account for 59,364 crores, which is only for part year because the whole year's BE is 1,18,728 crores. This covers revenue expenditure of 40,000 crores, something else plus, and capital expenditure 19,283 crores. So the central government will provide the government of Jammu and Kashmir 41,751 crore in 23-24 and 37,278 crore in 24-25 as assistance to the union territory. So that is their interim budget, and their supplementary demand for grants is seeking 8,713 crore, primarily for repayment of debt and also for power procurement. So that is where the interim and also supplementary of Jammu and Kashmir is. I'll very quickly, considering the time constraint that we have, very quickly respond to some of the members who have spoken on issues. Honorable Member Shashi Tharoor referred to labor workforce, labor force, unemployment and issues. Whilst I can give him point on several, I'll highlight some of the features. The labor force in the country has increased from 49.8 in 2017-18 to 57.9% in 22-23, registering a growth of about 8.1%. Now, sir, the workforce in the country has increased all right, and 46.8% in 2017, 56% in 2022 to 23, registering a growth of 9.2%. Unemployment rate has decreased from 6.0% in 17-18 to 3.2% in 22-23. This is the data I'm officially giving you in the House to the Honourable Member. Sir, since May 2023, so before that, labour force of youth has also increased from 38.2% in 17-18 to 44.5% in 22-23, registering a growth of about 6.3% in the last 5 years. Since May 2023, the number of net new subscribers to EPFO, they are not gross figures, they are net figures, new additions in the age group of 18 to 25 years has consistently exceeded 55% of the total net new EPF subscribers. So distinctly, the numbers show that people are getting enrolled in jobs, and that is why the EPF records show it. The women labour force participation has also risen to 37.0% in 22-23, signifying a substantial increase in women coming to the workforce. Sir, women again in formal employment. During 22-23, total of 28.7 lakh net female subscribers were added on to EPFO. These are official EPFO records. So women are coming into formal jobs. As regards unorganized workers, sir, normally a lot of concern is expressed, and data collection for unemployment among unorganized workers is also very complex. At present, out of the total registration of more than 29 crore unorganized workers on the e-Shram portal, 53% are women under various occupational sectors. So 53% on the e-Shram portal are women. So you find that significantly more number of women are coming to join in the workforce. Sir, there was also a question from Honourable Member Tharoor talking about allocation to PM Poshan, whether there is a reduction, is actually the observation by Honourable Member. No, actually, the allocation to PM Poshan has increased. BE 23-24, which is the current year BE, is 11,600 crores. BE 24-25, for the year which is forthcoming, for which the budget is laid here, 12,467.39 crores has already been announced in the interim budget. So it's actually going up. Sir, the retail, talking about inflation, several members did speak. I'm quickly moving on to it. I can't see Professor Saugata Roy, but Shashi Tharoorji has also raised this concern. Retail inflation, sir, has declined from an average of 6.8% in April-December 2022 to 5.5% in the corresponding period of 2023. The retail inflation is now stable and within the notified tolerance band of 2 to 6%. The core inflation has actually declined from 5.1% in April 2023 to 3.8% in December 2023. There was also this observation that probably the government is not doing much at all for containing inflation. There was this question also asked on Monday in this August House, for which I've given a detailed reply. But as a result of the steps taken by the government, prices of essentials like atta, dal, onion, and also rice have come down. I'll tell you how, sir. Bharat Atta, a brand which Government of India has brought in with subsidized grains, atta or dal or others. Rice also has got launched only 2 days ago. Have all got absolutely subsidized price. Atta, for instance, 27.50 per kg, Bharat Atta. And okay, you put the price, you also release the brand. Is it getting sold? The quantity sold, lakh metric tons, 2.37 lakh metric tons as on 28 January 2024. So Bharat Atta at 27 rupees 50 paisa per kg 2.37 lakh metric tons are already sold to the public, which means to that extent the prices have cooled down. Bharat Dal similarly, 60 rupees per kg if it is packed in 1 kg bags, 55 rupees 1 kg if it is packed in 30 kg bags. 2.97 lakh metric tons as on 31st January has already been sold. So dal is also getting subsidized and distributed through NAFED, through Mother Dairy, through other cooperative stores and so on. Onions are being sold at 25 rupees per kg. And is it being sold? Yes, it is being sold. 3.96 lakh metric tons up to 3rd February has already been sold by the government. Bharat Rice is launched at 29 rupees per kg. The launch happened only 2 days ago, so I can't give you what is the quantity already sold. Sir, there was interest also on the PLI scheme. Again, Member Sashi Tharoor had asked about it. Member Dayanidhi Maranji has already also asked about it. PLI schemes, I'm not going into the details. 14 sectors benefit from it. So what is happening? Is it happening everywhere? Manufacturing locations are coming up in 24 states and more than 150 districts. This scheme is not being given only for one state or the other. Manufacturing happening in 24 states are getting covered. Government has committed nearly 1.97 lakh crores, which is about 26 billion US dollars over 5 years starting 21-22. The results are, as of today, I'm just putting some facts before you. 1.07 lakh crore investment is already committed by people who want to set up businesses. Around 7 lakh employment, both direct and indirect, have already been created. 3.40 lakh crores of exports are happening. 8.7 lakh crore rupees of production and sales are happening. 176 MSMEs are selected as direct beneficiaries of the PLI scheme. So these are the implications and the outcome as things stand now of the PLI. So there was this question regarding COVID-led poverty increase. Several members mentioned about it. Member, I can't see if Girish Chandraji from BSP is around, but the 2 points which I'd like to highlight here are poverty. Actually, MPI has nearly halved from 0.117 to 0.066 in 2019-21, thereby setting a clear path for sustainable development goals to be achieved for India by the stipulated time of 2030. This is, and also the health and other indicators, and which are very important components of the multi-dimensional poverty index, are benefiting from the measures taken by the government. The decline in the deprivation levels measured by nutrition, sanitation facility, cooking fuel, and housing are very distinctly observed by the research groups. Largest improvements were reported in the states like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, UP, Odisha, and Rajasthan, with rural areas actually steering the fall in the incidence of poverty. So there was this elaborate question about IMF report which warned about increasing debt to GDP ratio. Debt to GDP ratio has increased in the last 10 years, was an observation which very many members picked up. Member Sashi Tharoor, Member Supriya Sule spoke about it. So this IMF report, please let us understand the context. It talks of a worst case scenario. If it's not the fait accompli. It doesn't say that you are going towards it, you're going to end up in that. That's not that report. It says, please take care. In the worst case scenario, if you don't attend to your economy from now, you may end up being like this. But that's not a fait accompli. The kind of measures we are taking to make sure that debt restructuring and also bringing down the core debt are all efforts which are very reassuring. And as it is, if you look at India's debt to GDP, it's in the range of 80 to 84. Whereas there are countries which are advanced, which are over 100%, over 200%. Japan's over 200%. Many of the developed countries and many of the emerging market economies also are well over 100. We are well below. And also, government's external debt is almost, just as they say in Hindi, na ki barabar hai. It's all as good as not being there at all. So, I think the honorable members of the House can be assured that our debt to GDP is being attended to. The situation that the IMF report talks about is an extreme worst case scenario. Just what if it goes to become that way? It's not leading to a fait accompli. There were comparisons made with Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and so on. Sir, I think I've said this a few times in this House. I know we value our neighborhood, our neighbors, we help one another and grow. It's all right to compare. Nobody is stopping anyone from comparing. But let's not compare just one random number. If you're talking about per capita GDP, then please let us look at the real GDP growth of these countries as well. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka were compared. Bangladesh 2020, 2021 and 2022. Real GDP growth 3.4, 6.9, 7.1. Where are we? Therefore, if we are looking at India, we started with minus 5.8 due to COVID in 2020. We moved on to 9.1. Then we've reached 7.2 even despite the COVID dip. So let's compare that as well. Now look at Sri Lanka. 2020, when we were minus 5.8, they were minus 4.6. Next year, 3.5. Now they are minus 7.8. So just comparing per capita GDP alone doesn't get you a complete picture. Please also look at the GDP growth. Where are they? Negative, positive? So I would kindly request members on that score. Somebody mentioned it, so I'm responding to that. So I can't see member Hasnain Masoodi ji. He had asked some questions about J&K, but I can always pass it on to him when he's around. Sir, just a few observations. I wouldn't take much of a time because I think all of us are in. So member N.K. Premchandran had spoken about Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, I think, and also said inflation, poverty, employment are all very important indicators. You should look at that as well. I think not only Bangladesh, Sri Lanka matter, but also on the inflation and also the other issues that employment and so on. In answering other members, I have also responded to them. I won't get too much into it. One last word, sir, on the concerns about center not giving money to the states. The big debate which is going on because some representatives from the government of Karnataka are also here. Support is being extended by Kerala government. And when I was here answering member Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, I know Tamil Nadu also voiced concern. I want to assure this House, and I'll give you the data. Whatever the Finance Commission has recommended, I follow it to the last word. In the case of Karnataka, I will very clearly say, comparing with other Finance Commission periods, 13th Finance Commission period is 2010-11 to 2014-15. Karnataka received 61,691 crores those 5 years. 14th Finance Commission, beginning 2015-16 to 2019-20, Karnataka received 1,51,309 crores. Our current 15th Finance Commission which we are now from 2020-21 disbursing, as of 31st March 2026 is what that commission will relate to. But for the 4 years, Karnataka has already received 1,29,854 crores. 4 years compared to 5 years then. When 5 years, sorry? I'm talking about Finance Commission, madam. I'm talking about the Finance Commission related period, madam. We can always answer questions which you may ask of other period. This is Finance Commission related devolution. 1,29,854 already for the 4 years. It is estimated at the end of the 5th year, Karnataka would have received 1,74,339. Compare it with the previous Finance Commission, 1,51,309, and compare it in the current Finance Commission, 1,74,000. This is the tax devolution, sir. Now, if you look at the grants and aid, I'm not going year by year, but the 5 years, Finance Commission was that one. Now I'm going to talk about 10 years of UPA, not Finance Commission, 10 years of UPA, 60,779 crores, 60,779.84 crores, 10 years of UPA time. What is it now? 10 years now, likely to complete now, 2,08,832.02 crores. Already released. Over and above that, additional grants and aid of 18,005 crores, which is 18,005 crores, has been budgeted this year for release in 23-24, March 31st, 2024 ke andar. Before that, Karnataka will get 18,000. 1 minute, let me finish, ma'am. You please do ask your question, I'll answer. 18,005 crores. Additional grant is being released before 31st March this year, put together in 10 years, compared to 60,779.84 crores received during UPA 10 years. What Karnataka is getting now is 2,26,837 crores. Sir, where is Karnataka being denied money? Karnataka receiving less money? What the Finance Commission said, we are releasing and releasing in time. Just one last thing. What the Finance Commission didn't tell us, they didn't ask us to do. In addition, what we have released, over and above what we released through the Finance Commission, is this devolution. 2 items which I'll highlight and finish. Since 1996, an amount of 81,470 crores has been lying like that. No government touched it. We sat together and decided. The guidance received from the Prime Minister was, please, why are you sitting? Clear it, give it to the states. Since 96, that amount is pending. I've said this before once in the House. 81,470 crores were cleared to all the states, and in that, Karnataka received 2,671 crores. Nothing to do with Finance Commission, and no questions asked if I didn't touch it also. From 96, it's lying. The other, of course, is the 6,280 crores received under the 50-year interest-free. Even that the Finance Commission didn't tell us. We've given it to all states. We've given it to Karnataka as well. So without taking more of your time, sir, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Hopefully, the 4 items will get passed.
माननीय सदस्यगण श्री के सुरेश एवं श्रीमती